And we are live. Welcome to the Renegade podcast. I'm your host, Dashing Rogue, with my frequent sidekick, Artistic Layman.
Yeah, it's okay. I've got my hands free now, so I can.
Yeah, quick, help me, Tag! I'm a poor defenseless girl!
Okay, let's go save everyone.
Where's that from?
Prisoner Zero.
That sounds pretty good. I actually want to see that.
It basically had only one season, and it feels like it could have had more, but I don't know where else they could have gone with it. They just stopped after. It was like an Australian-based show, so I don't know where they went with it.
Well, it's Aussies. People often say, "Oh, they're prisoners." Well, you have to remember the prisoners were also the guards with them. No, seriously, they had like some of the worst lockdowns, and you'd think that if I were going to point to any one place that would have the worst lockdown, would have been Japan or something like that. Like if I was just going to go like off a stereotype, I would have said Japan or some Asian country or some Eastern country, right? But the West is the one that fucking had all the crazy shit. It was I don't know. I'm not gonna get too deep into that because I don't want to scare the freaking YouTube algorithm away. It's like a cat, isn't it? It really is like a cat that you can never appease, isn't it? The algorithm, that is.
And speaking of algorithms, for those who are curious, that song was extra fries from the Fly Guys 5.
Well, that was very nice. I like it. Maybe I might let you pick some songs at some point.
It was just fun at the last minute, so I'm not sure how good I would be at that.
Well, maybe we'll pick some. We'll take it by ear. Hey, Vinny, how you doing? Hey, Armored Ghost. Yeah, that's right. Get your beers ready because we got the son of the bitch. We finally got him. Luke.
And which one is that?
Well, which one? Well, one step at a time. All right. So one of the things I talked about before was that if I could find the original full footage of that one of Dugan basically doing that ritual, whatever. Apparently, it was a concert with a bunch of weird shit in it. Like we're talking like I want to say like Hawkwind on acid type of shit. Like I linked it to you, Luke. Can I share it with you? All right.
What is it?
It's on Skype. I send it to you. Let's see if I can find it. No, I'm gonna link it to you right now. Because you know what? We're in Discord. Here we go. Poof. There it is.
Oh yeah, there it is.
We got the full fracking thing. And I backed that. It's mine, motherfuckers. He's a Christian guy. Guys, he's a Christian. He's a traditionalist. He's totally traditional, guys. He's about as this guy is like the more honest version of Peterson. Like Peterson, at least, he tiptoes around the idea that he's a Gnostic heretic. But like, there's a part. Let's see if I can pull it up for you right now, Luke.
It feels like a clown version of that Bohemian Grove kind of stuff.
It is. That's exactly what this shit is. And again, these guys apparently are influencing Russian politics, right? They're influencing it. And let's see if I can find it here. Okay, here we go. Right at 9 minutes in. 9 minutes in.
9 minutes in, you say?
Yep, because this is something, just a shout out to Waffle Evil who gave me information about this guy. This guy right here, the guy with the birth control glasses, or the Johnny Silverhand, or the Razor Fist glasses. There he is. Okay, so this guy apparently was the one who gave Dugan the idea about the whole Chaos Sigil, or whatever the fuck it is. Because apparently now people are actually coming out and saying, yeah, it actually is a Chaos Sigil. Michael Moorcock, he's a fan of Moorcock. So what we have is a bunch of people who are LARPing like they're the fucking hordes of chaos and shit. He also was a founding member of the National Bolshevik Party. So It just goes to show you that Gnosticism runs deep in this fucking crap. And then, of course, you move up ahead a bit, let's say to, I want to say about 14 minutes in. 14 minutes, by the way. Yeah, 14 minutes in. Now we get into the, it's totally traditional and this totally makes sense. It all makes sense. We're going to like homage St. Peter on the cross or something like that. And it's going to be like some sort of allegorical thing of how we just can't figure out the world. And just like how St. Peter wanted to be crucified upside down. And now, even though we're trying to homage it, we're still using the aesthetics of evil and shit, right? But we're going to make an excuse. It's like a fucking dreidel in a lot of ways.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like they have a cult meaning and they have esoteric and exoteric meaning. And look at it. I mean, look at this. This is like Bohemian What the hell?
It's a college art campus of Bohemian Grove.
It really is. Look at be careful. Careful. He's gonna start spinning them around, Luke. This is totally traditional. This is part of the orthodoxy. This is absolutely part of the traditionalist orthodoxy, isn't it?
What are they saying anything? What are they talking
they're
just playing music, I see.
They're playing they're rocking out. They're doing like the whole freaking what is it, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, let's say. Because there's
wait a second.
There. Come on, really? He's totally traditional. This is like freaking something from The Simpsons. It's like, that Mr. T on the menorah during Krusty's freaking bar mitzvah. That's what that is.
Oh wait,
look at that.
Wait,
That's what it is.
I have to find that clip. Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, behold your new god, Mr. Burns.
Lowly mortals, in addition to working for me, you may now praise me as your almighty.
Amen, sir.
Oh God, I feel dirty just thinking about this. Look at this. But he's totally trad, guys. He's trad. He's totally trad. He talks about the big ones like freaking not Jules Verne's. What the fuck is his name? Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, Fulton Sheen. He doesn't talk about those degenerates like Evola and fucking Renegade. Those people. If you don't talk about Fulton Sheen, if you don't even know who Fulton Sheen is, you're not traditional. Okay, look at that. And I think the guy's like, put me down. I'm getting sick. It's just vomits all over the place, and these people would just lap that shit up.
What are they? Is there supposed to be is he like in a dream state? What is this?
This is fucking like the people I linked it to. I linked the videos that said this is basically like Twin Peaks. And when you realize what?
I've actually never watched Twin Peaks.
Neither have I. I'm gonna watch it also because apparently it's Dugan's what was it? Dugan's Guide to Culture, I think it was, right? He was big into that shit. He even said Twin Peaks is like his favorite fucking movie. I've just been cyber stalking this guy so long that I fucking basically write a novel about the motherfucker. But again, how is this orthodox? Like, real talk, how is this orthodox? Is the Orthodox Church, before it got infiltrated by the fucking FSB, they warned people about Dugan. How is this orthodox? Like, we're literally having Christ, like, pinned a tail on the Jew over here. And by the way, I hope to God that, please, the love of God, don't let the toga come off. What is this?
He's dressed as a, what is this, cheerleader? What is this?
Well, maybe this might give us some context.
The Ferris wheel's involved now.
Yeah, the Ferris wheel's involved.
Is that supposed to be like an eternal sun wheel or something?
I don't know, dude. Don't look too deep into this shit. This is like the equivalent of saying "piss Christ."
I'm not trying to be deep. I'm just trying to say, oh, is that what that's supposed to be?
Well, this is like the equivalent of saying like raping a baby is like newborn porn from like a Serbian film is like artsy of how the Serbian government rapes the people. Such degeneracy.
What is? So she's just dancing for the crowd, I guess.
They think the Russians are stuck in the 1980s. Like that was like a meme back in the day that they loved everything that's 1980s for some reason, and apparently it shows.
Well,
look at this.
It was pretty weird, the 80s.
I don't know. I mean, not in any of my most cocaine-fueled fantasies have I ever freaking seen this shit, and I've gone very, very high in my day. Like, wow. But the thing that this guy wrote, the guy who's going to speak up here, he's coming up here in a bit. What we're at right now, Luke?
We are at 18, 19.
All right, so he comes on right around 22 minutes in. So we'll just keep watching this and let it go by. We got Zardoz over here. Freaking what the hell? Zardoz, get up.
Did he fall down? Is he drunk? What's the deal?
I think Zardoz might be drunk. Fucking Russians, man. No matter, even when they can't even fulfill their own death rituals.
Oh yeah. This guy is running on the wheel. He's stuck.
Maybe it's just like God damn. You want to play the Tumbler game because we kind of can. Like, you make every... Oh, here it comes.
Who is this?
There it is. This is the same guy. This is... Remember, this is the clip that we didn't get to see. By the way, I don't know anything about the translation here. However, at the same time, until I could actually translate it myself, don't just disregard it.
I saw Aleister Crowley, so I recognize that.
Mm-hmm. And who shows up? None other than the Eurasian walrus himself.
Yes.
There he is. There's the guy who's gonna lead the West into freaking the Golden Age. There he is. There he is. Hang on. What is a Christian doing in this type of place? Right? He'll claim to be Christian the same way Peterson will claim to be Christian. He ain't no Christian. He's a fucking Gnostic. Get the fuck out of here, you spaz. And of course, we didn't see the whole footage of this, so we have the full footage. This was a concert. So this guy is basically hanging out with punk rockers and shit. And going back to the whole, let's see if I can find it here. Back at 8 minutes in, Luke? Yeah, about 8 minutes in. The guy who made the guy with the birth control glasses, the red glasses, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was, he had adopted the punk aesthetic of Moorcock and whatnot. So it's really interesting how these memes are just, popping around and shit. We're seeing him just come into fruition. I mean, this shit is like legitimately Bohemian Grove shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many of these people are actual dudes?
Well, at least the Bohemian Grove stuff was shrouded in mystery. This is just like Clown World.
Well, yeah, it is Clown World. I mean, it's like Monty Python's Flying Circus manifested into the real world. But you could kind of see where they got the idea from. Let's see if I can find it here.
What's that? Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture. Have you ever seen that shit?
I did. I don't get the appeal.
Yeah, the sweet transvestite. Yeah, and I don't get it either. Like,
I'm a transsexual transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
Oh, don't say that.
No,
the freaking
transsexual from transvestite Transylvania.
So yeah, these people are from transvestite Transylvania. That's not to insult the Romanians in the audience, but my goodness gracious. Like these people literally are dictating fucking policy in the Kremlin. Like, you'll have people like, let's see if I can pull this up here.
Tim Curry's career was tainted by that, but he was able to get more work still.
I sent you another link, Luke. I think I know what they were trying to go for here. Like, you can kind of see the aesthetics. I kind of want to clip these two together just to see if people will notice. It's the same freaking thing.
Cherry Red Records. What is this?
This is basically what the hell is his name? Lemmy Kilmister, or what the fuck it is? The guy who he was in Motorhead. Uh-huh. He was in this one band, and it's basically you have Elric of Meldomene there. And you got the Chaos Sigil and everything. It's like these rockers are all the same. The difference here is I didn't write a fucking book about how we should start a race war in the United States and how we have to basically start turmoil and discord in the United States so NATO doesn't get reinforced. Okay, these guys didn't do that. It was those fucking stupid Russians that did it. Anyhow, no, seriously, it looks the same, except this has higher budget value because it's actually shot in the West.
It has more coherency too.
Yeah,
I recognize more. At least I recognize Elric.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's probably some Russian drunk Elric, or Russian Lord of the Rings or some shit. Oh boy, Waffle Evil. Hello, hey man, how you doing? Thank you for the research on that whole Anton. What the fuck is this? Shanks, whatever the hell his name is. The guy who made the whole Chaos Sigil thing. All right, thank you for that. Oh man, but what's interesting about this whole thing is that we joke about it being like Tumblr-esque, and Lucian even said before about the whole how Dugan starts running his mouth about gender and shit like that. Well, you know who else did that kind of crap? The Gnostics. So it's a lot of this crap is Gnostic inherently in its origin. You can take it off now, Luke. I don't want to get a copyright strike.
Right.
Not to say that we are, but I'm just saying a lot of this stuff is Gnostic. You never let the Gnostics take over. You never let these people take over. You never let Jordan Peterson take over because he can't even define what the word alone is because he thinks no one's truly alone. I'm like, well, really? So if I take you in the middle of a field, are you alone? No, I'm with my thoughts, okay? With your right hand or your left hand. That's what you're dealing with those people. And at the same time, you see the same thing with unironically with fascist Italy and even Nazi Germany. These people, they reject reality so hard they have to make up their own bullshit.
Yeah.
Go on.
What's that?
What were you saying?
I was just playing this.
Oh yeah, this one. So this is another guy who just came out recently, about 4 months ago, talking shit about Jordan Peterson, and I wanted to just watch it and see how you would enjoy it, because we're gonna be kicking ass in Gnosticism, because the Gnostics do not create strong men; they create weak minds. Strong men are more like Samson, men of their time at their time and their place in the world, who are willing to actually fight up and stand up against this shit, because these people are degenerates. So play it, Luke?
Out metaphysics. That is, you can get objective meaning in the world without reality. Here's what I mean. When people ask
What? Oh yeah, what do you mean?
Jordan Peterson,
Let's Quentin Tarantino it.
belief in God or whether he's a Christian, there's sort of endless deferral of the question, and he says things like, a very complex question, what do you mean by this? That is, at very least, there's a sort of bracketing or putting aside of the question of the metaphysics, the reality ontology of God and his ontological commitments, what you actually believe to be the case about these things. Similarly, in his thought about the Bible, you have similar deferrals. That is, deferrals about, like, whether this stuff actually happened. Similarly, with John Vervaeke, of whom there are many things in his work that I do appreciate, but once again, he shares a similar proposition with Jordan Peterson. That is, his focus on practices, the belief that the question of ontology, of meaning, can be extracted from the practices themselves, and the thought that you can have everything you had before as long as you take these practices and do that. That is...
the new atheist movement.
Yep, the new atheist movement. The idea that you could just be rational by itself. And as a result, then you have all these people who become political. Because at the end of the day, if you look at all the historical atheist movements, they've always inherently been political. We're not saying that every atheist is evil. We're saying atheists are individuals.
Well, I'll go that far, but you don't have to.
Well, okay, you can go that far, but I'll say that, because everyone has their own individual reason for why they believe what they believe, right? Even down to the atheists. But the problem with atheism is it tries to basically be it tries to be to what skepticism is. Atheism is to feminism what skepticism is to the manosphere or the MRAs. They want to have a monopoly on those talking points. We want to have a monopoly on being rational. No, you're not rational. And even if you are rational, being rational will eventually get you to a point where you're basically killing people because you've rationalized it. You've rationalized that these people need to die for heaven to be on earth. Whether it be Joachim of Flora, whether it be Hegel basically saying that we have to do this so to get the better outcome, Marx, or in some cases the Gnostics of Augustine, St. Augustine, right? In his day. These people are dangerous. They're dangerous because if you give them power, they don't know what good and evil is. They are totally fucking blind to it. And even then, they just think it's words, man. It's just words. You killed a kid. You murdered a child. Oh, it's an abortion ritual. I guess we're supposed to have freedom of religion, and we're supposed to respect reproductive rights. You see how this game works? It's all a word game with these people. Keep playing.
Your commitments towards this metaphysic, this story, this ontology are not very important, if important at all. Now, there's an important thing to know about this stream of thought, and that is, it's not...
This is so eyes wide shut without the sex orgies.
It is, but even at the same time, like, maybe they knew better not to film anything. Because all those people were wearing masks and makeup. So like I said before, how much of this shit was actually... how much of this was actually people, how many of them were dudes, like real dudes? And how many of them were actually like trying to dress up like Minerva or something, like trying to homage Minerva or something? You don't know, because these people are crazy.
New. This is just old liberal historical criticism, like Boltonmar. That is, they think that even though you've thrown away much of the sort of historicity of these stories, the ontology, the metaphysics of it, it doesn't matter, because either the story itself or the practices of the community can still provide you with everything that was provided before with the story itself. Now, of course, this didn't start with Boltzmann or any of the other liberals. It goes back to Kant, who separated the phenomena and the noumena, that is, what appears to us and the reality, the thing in itself. And Kant thought that, reality itself got filtered through these categories in our heads of substance, quantity, all of these things like that. So it's nothing new. But Peterson and John Vervaeke share that same fundamental proposition that you can have meaning without metaphysics. And
you can have maps without territory. You could have words without substance. Yeah, that's what that is. So you could literally talk about white privilege as if it's a real fucking thing, right? And white privilege not even be a thing. You could literally talk about hate crimes that have happened that don't actually happen. Right? Keep going.
When you explain a story or practice in a fascinating or interesting ways, when you unfold these things like these two gentlemen do in compelling ways, you sort of can paper over the question of the foundations of these things.
Yeah, they're sophists. They're fucking sophists. Like, we've already said this multiple times, that a lot of these people are fucking sophists. They don't know fuck all. Who's this? Who's this John? I win at Scrabble.
Sounds familiar. John Bernanke. Where have I heard him before?
Fernanke, that's what he is. He's like Quark. He's one of Quark's people. And,
convince people that the reality is no longer.
I think he's one of the people who advocates for psychedelics.
Oh, he needs to die then. He needs to be put in the ground as soon as humanly possible in Minecraft or Warzone. YouTube, keep going.
But this is obviously false.
There are diamonds
now,
on the ground.
Gnosticism, that's not entirely new, is very out of step with Western thought, because one of the features of Western thought is that in the Christian faith coheres both the beautiful and the true, and that you cannot have one without the other. And if you rip them apart, you lose them both. And this is sort of an obvious proposition. What is obvious? Well, the reality that you need to have both the practices, the surface, the aesthetic structure, the symbolism, and the truth of it. This is literally...
So apparently 4 months ago, he and Jordan Peterson had a conversation so intense it might transcend time and space. That's not. That's
Gnostic bullshit. But let's hear the alcoholics out. I want to hear that.
Put that one on.
Put that one on. I want to hear this shit because we're gonna do it live, chat. Because I want to entertain you people. Hello, Walt Lobster Man.
Nice tie, by the way. Interesting. Very contrasting.
You look like a fucking. You look like a Hugh Hefner wannabe. There we go.
From the meaning crisis. The meaning crisis is a phrase that John's popularized and that many of you may be familiar with. So, welcome.
Marketing bullshit.
You're looking great. Well, thank you, sir. It's my Twitter suit. So, I wanted to start. I'm going to jump right into this. Please, there's some very complicated.
Oh yeah, he does look like he's a Twitter bird.
He has a twit. Oh my god.
He looks like a Twitter bird.
This guy is a fucking corporate shill. He's a fucking shill. Well, let's be frank with ourselves.
It is being sponsored by the Daily Wire, so.
By the way, the Daily Wire is not our friends. Like, they literally let a Gnostic into the house and none of them know shit. But we're going to talk about the Daily Wire because they've been doing some pretty good shit, but the problem here is they take it way too seriously. And in some cases, they don't actually see they miss the forest for the trees. We're going to get along with that. Let's just play it out here. Let's keep going.
Essential issues that I want to talk to you about. I talked with Carl Friston a while back, and for those of you watching, Friston is one of the...
In psychology, get rid of all of that kind of. So I think that kind of work is exemplary. I think it's also really good work. I think it's careful. It's mathematically rigorous. You know, I work. He has a student.
He's wearing Converse. Yes, he is wearing Converse, chat. He absolutely is. He's one of the. He's hip with the kids, don't you know?
Wear some longer pants, dude. Like, was everyone determined to have the tight, short pants?
He wants to be Mr. Rogers, don't you know? He wants to be your neighbor. He wants to be your neighbor.
But he was educational.
Yeah, well, you know, at least Mr. Rogers made me feel good without trying to blaspheme Christ, you know? And saying he's the Logos or some shit.
As well.
Yes.
So let me take Chris' argument apart a little bit more. Because I asked him a very specific question. So I asked him if he thought that basic...
Like are you a Christian or not?
You are such a sophist, Peterson, and you know you only exist because because we've been censored. If we tore down the wall right now and made it so that we could actually speak and you could be criticized and actually have an alternative media that actually is accountable, like seriously, like this guy would not be around.
1 year ago, apparently Peterson was on a video called "The Four Horsemen of Meaning." Bishop Barron, John Bernanke, Jordan Peterson, and what's his
Bishop Barron?
No, not Jordan Peterson. Jordan Perdue.
Oh,
Jonathan Perdue.
Oh, so it's not Jordan Peterson then.
Jordan Peterson's in it.
Oh, so we have a fucking heretic among our ranks.
Perceptual categories were micro.
Send that to me, Luke.
Right. So because one of the places that your work and mine dovetail is in our observation that the very categories of perception that make themselves manifest to us aren't simple objects.
No.
Right.
No.
That's where you bring in the Neoplatonic teleology.
Agent-arena relationship.
Right. And so what we seem to see in the world are patterns that have functional utility. And the functional utility is construed in relationship to a goal. And of course, then that brings up the question of what should the goal be, and is there such a thing as an integrated goal?
Yeah.
And so there's a pragmatism, like the empiricists and the rationalists, but let's say the empiricists to begin with, seem to presume that what we see in the world are objects, and then we derive meaning, we impose a meaning on top of that. And that isn't how it works, is that the very things we see as objects are tools that we use in relationship to goals. And some of those can be described objectively, but that isn't the essence of perception itself.
No, I agree. And if you look at even the history of the psychology of categorization,
This guy looks like a rat. Holy shit, this guy looks like a fucking.
Exactly what you're talking about. That really sort of started to come into.
I don't trust him.
In the mid '80s, early '80s, and then gathered steam. Well, neural networks came. Now they're to the core. But there was the idea that concepts are just lists of features.
Yeah, right.
Lists of features.
Yeah.
And that the primary function of a concept is to label the world and describe it. And that's turned both of those, which are sort of often it's interesting because when you ask people what they think concepts are, that's what they tell you.
You bet. There's features. There's a list. Two things are identical.
Cartesian reality. Go back to that. Cartesian reality. I was looking at that. Cartesian reality. I want to hear that.
But so that at the same time we're expanding our adaptive competence in a variety of domains simultaneously.
Exactly.
Right? And I think meaning. So here's a way of thinking about this existentially. So imagine that you're pursuing a given goal, whatever it is. Maybe you want to get married, you want to have children, and then you think, well, who the hell cares in 100,000 years? What difference is it going to make anyways? And then all your motivational energy is drained out by that sort of nihilistic thought. Now, one thing you can think in relationship to that is, well, that nihilistic thought is accurate because that's a superordinate time frame, and if you had any sense, that's the time frame across which you evaluate things, and you just have to pay the price of the meaninglessness of your life. Or you could say, wait a second. If I'm pursuing a goal and I use a frame of interpretation that renders it amotivational, one possibility is that I'm using a counterproductive frame of reference, and that's actually what my nervous system is signaling to me. So one of the discussions we could have is like, is it reasonable epistemologically and even ontologically to use your sense of deep meaning as a guide to optimal functioning in the world? Like, I think it's the instinct that
this is sophistry, man.
They're saying a whole lot of nothing.
They aren't saying anything. Is it optimal for you to believe in a higher power because you don't know there's a higher power, right? Is it optimal? I don't know. And I don't really care because I think
compared to what?
Compared to what? Exactly. Compared to what? Like
that's always my argument. Compared to what?
Compared to what? I think you got, Luke. We're going to move on now. Going to move on from that. We're going to get some more stuff here. Give me 1 second. Let me find the video. Let's see if I have it here. All right. Sorry about that, chat. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Okay. Ape Man. Ape. The ape has escaped, Luke.
Oh?
The ape has escaped.
What is that?
The ape has escaped, and now he wants. And now, we're gonna critique We're gonna critique him because this guy can see the future. Don't you know?
Oh.
Abu can see the future. I'm gonna do some Abu posting.
Oh, he's still about, is he? Or
he's still in Abu.
Wait, is he still in prison or is he under house arrest? What's his deal?
I think he's still under house arrest, but this will be interesting. Just listen to him.
Tate speech. What is this called? Tate speech by Andrew Tate. Okay.
As one of the smartest people on the face of the planet, people are asking me continuously, Andrew, what do you think about it? Oh, gee. I know everything about everything. It's that guy. People come to me and say, how do you think AI is going to change and shape the modern world? They were enough fuck. All of the brokies. Brokies are in real big trouble.
He is high as a kite. Look at those eyes.
What's a brokey?
I guess it basically people like you and me, or people who aren't doing his multi-level marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
In its current form. Can't.
I'm a narcissist.
If there are thousands of people online, they could replace you, Tate.
There are hundreds of them. I mean, I know a balding bisexual in fucking Canada who could fucking replace you. He wants to be the king of it, and he would gladly love to just go crusade on your little do a little crusade against your little Muslim friends. Just saying.
Profile picture. Seven-figure business agency. I'll teach you how to monetize.
That is some impressive AI motion capture right there.
It is, but at the same time, like, honestly, this is an example of where I like to have a low tech, so to speak. But at the same time, it's wasted on this guy. It really is wasted on him. I'd rather listen to that fucking Iggy guy, because at least Iggy knows how to actually program women, because he does that whole NLP, neuro-linguistic programming shit, you know? Yeah. So, like, Iggy's the real brains behind everything. This guy's just a dumb little monkey who kind of... I kind of think he just gets blitzed, and he just watches, and he rambles, and he thinks he's the shit. And that's what I think it is. I think he's really just rambling and like, oh my god, I'm so awesome, I'm so wonderful. Ooh. Go on.
I use ChatGPT to write the last 4 tweets. I can't do that because there's no fucking robot. There's no computer on the planet which can be me. You understand? A computer.
Yeah, the thing is, they can. That's the point.
They absolutely could. They absolutely fracking could, couldn't they? He's still in Romania. Lol. Technically, he can't even leave right now. The legal stuff is going on. Yeah, exactly. They get it because here's the thing. I actually like ChatGPT. I actually used it last week to actually fill out a bunch of cover letters.
1.2 million followers.
Yep, and he's on Rumble as well. So this just goes to show you that, you know, you can't really build anything unless you have a following first. So the biggest problem right now is the alternative mainstream media needs to step aside and allow other people to have that algorithmic favoritism now.
Ain't happening.
It ain't going to happen anytime soon, but we're still going to call them out for the alternative mainstream media shills, you know?
Computer with all of its fucking infant fucking decimal computing power can't possibly come up with the brilliance that I come up with. We all know it's true. I say things that computers can't say. That's why I'm
Shut up, monkey.
We're not allowed to say sometimes.
This guy, he is so drugged out of his fucking mind in this clip. Like, you could see it in his eyes. Like, he has, like, the pervy eyes. Like, I don't know what about this guy's morphology, but he looks so fucked up right now. Abu just has had a rough... With the hair he has, he looks like he has a bad hair day. Keep going.
Where's that nerd? You can probably get ChatGPT to talk to his wife. Probably more likely to get a blowjob if you got ChatGPT to text his wife than he did his fucking self. I'm not. When you're a basic loser, you have to be afraid of AI because it can replace you.
Here's what I think is going to happen with the top G. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that he's making this video specifically with the intent that he's going to replace all of his disloyal people with robots. I literally do believe that he is going to fucking basically, you know, take out the bottom of the pyramid and replace it with fucking robots.
Well, no, he's going to integrate it so the people at the bottom will still keep paying money, but they'll think their group is bigger than it actually is.
You know, I don't know. I mean, do you think he's really that smart? I don't think he's that smart. I really don't think this monkey is that intelligent.
Money is a powerful motivator, so yeah, he would do that. I mean, he already paid people to pretend to be interested, like to be women to pretend to be interested in the guys they're talking to. So why not?
You know, something tells me this guy also probably integrated, you know, ChatGPT to make people actually talk to like an AI. You never know about it, right? Like, this guy literally wants to be. He wants to basically do what I wanted to do at one point, which was basically be a digital pimp, and essentially like build a artificial character, like take certain like features of certain females, whether it be like, you know, the latest chick from, you know, Sports Illustrated or what have you, and then you mix them together with the AI and say, okay, she's a new person, she's her own person. We have a new, you know, she has her own life. We can send her to, you know, to Ibiza, whatever the fuck it is, or Hawaii, or Bali, or whatever the fuck it is, and she'll take pics there. And as a result of that, she'll get a following, and then she'll eventually do an open and OnlyFans, and you got them. Like that's easy to do. I thought about doing that because I'd be ripping off foreigners mostly, you know. Alrighty, keep playing, Luke.
AI's not going to fly the jets. AI's not going to drive the planes. AI's not going to buy the yachts. I have to do these things. That's my job on the planet. I have stuff to do. AI's not going to have 20 children. I have to do these things. You're a dork. AI can do what you do. And what's going to happen is, over time, as it advances, AI is going to be slowly attacking and creeping up and working all of the lower tier males. Those dudes down. Especially the ones who think they're smart. You're manual labor.
Like you.
Good. You work hard. I have respect for you. You're out there doing real work that needs to. You're not going to be replaced by.
I'm on ChatGPT, and I asked him a simple response to Andrew Tate being a bad person, and you know what its response is?
What was its response?
While it is subjective to label someone as a bad person, it is important to recognize that Andrew Tate has made controversial statements and engaged in behavior that has drawn criticism from many people. This isn't even the creative. It's as neutral as you can possibly get.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is the AI, like...
Oh, it's essential to approach individuals' actions and beliefs with critical thinking, empathy, and an understanding of different perspectives. What?
Say something, do the same thing, ask the same thing about Charles Manson.
Being a bad person?
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Charles Manson.
Because I hate to say it, but little monkey boy over here, Abu, actually has more in common with Charlie Manson. The difference here is if Charlie Manson actually had some fucking money. That's what he is. He's very similar to Charlie Manson. I mean, if you look at, what was it, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? Where they basically were like having the Manson family basically running around talking about how we fucked up, man. We should take everything over. It's the same fucking vibe that this little monkey has with his little entourage.
It's very slow process to print it out. And it says, Charles Manson is widely regarded as a notorious criminal and a deeply disturbed individual. His involvement in ostracizing the horrific Tate LaBecca murders and his manipulative tactics make it clear that his actions were morally reprehensible.
We should bring back Charlie Manson to take care of this one, because we need to get rid of Tate again, don't we? We really need to get rid of this guy. If somebody tells me if he died, he would start a race war. Just saying. Anyhow,
It's
AI.
Tier office dorks. Classes. Expert on copywriting. They're going to get wrecked. They're going to get wrecked because arrogant, they're lazy, fucking dorks, and they charge too much for the bullshit they do in the first place. AI is coming for them. Because in every single organization on Facebook.
Why does he keep doing that? Is he like high when he does that? Like he does that little like all over the freaking, you know, he has the whole world in his hands, that type of shit, right? With the gesture with his arms. Why does he do that? I don't know who taught him that, but like I just find it very interesting. I don't know. Keep going.
Have two tiers of killers. People who are brilliant.
Wow, I said create an emotional response to Andrew Tate being a bad person. I am deeply saddened and disturbed to learn about the actions and behaviors of Andrew Tate. Oh, that's tame. That's emotional.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You know, I'm only going to use ChatGPT to like write cover letters for my freaking for looking for a job. That's it. That's like the only thing. It's only there to do the bullshit you don't have to. You shouldn't have to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I should not have to sign up for ChatGPT. Okay, let's say Luke ask ChatGPT, is Donald Trump a bad person? There you go. Do that.
Is that in the chat somewhere? What is it?
That is by Waffle Evil, and I want to show it live if you can.
Is Donald Trump a bad person?
Do it live. We're doing it live. Show it on the screen.
Let's see. Is Donald Trump a bad person?
I want to see it happen in real time.
Assessing whether someone is a bad person subject to blah 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 blah. Well, at least they're neutral about it.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
I guess they finally getting their biases under control.
I can't even answer a question where the answer is provided in the question. They can't. No, they don't have that recursion. Like that's one of the biggest. That's like the biggest difference between IQ is recursion, from what I understand. Is that like if I could tell you to think about how would you feel if you were hit yesterday? All right, but I wasn't hit yesterday. Well, imagine how you felt if you got hit in the face yesterday. You can imagine that because you've probably been hit before. Now imagine you've been hit yesterday, but you were a different person than you are today, or a girl, or something like that. You could there's a certain level of emotional intelligence here, but also like recursion when it comes to intelligence. This guy ChatGPT doesn't get that. ChatGPT is only gonna be good for basically just writing stuff. I'm gonna use it for writing a book at some point. Keep going.
Insightful, extremely intelligent, and forward-thinking, and extremely hardworking. We have the mid-tier chaff. The guy who gets paid like 70 grand a year. He comes into work, he types, he does his job enough to not get fired, but he's never really pushed the company forward. If he disappeared one day, a boating accident, the company would continue to function just fine. He's just that guy. Those people are out to get. Because
yeah, he knows.
I know this very well because I will come up with a job, and I will say, okay, I have this role. I can either find one killer to do this, or I can find 4 to 5 mid-tier, mid-wit idiots. And killers are so difficult to find that often I have to take the role and split it into 5, find 5 jackasses, pull off what one competent person could do by himself.
Bullshit.
Companies are going to soon be killers, because it's more efficient.
Yeah, I mean, you can basically, if you put enough information, you can basically. There was a joke about someone writing an AI actually wrote up a typical SJW article, and people got mad that they found out it was AI.
Yeah, this happens a lot, and the easiest way to not be messed up by the AI is to basically just acknowledge that AI. Well, the best way to not is to be yourself, and don't give out your metadata, because this little monkey over here. He's putting out so much data about him that he could easily, an AI could just feed in all that information and basically clone him. He could have an engram of freaking Abu Tate, Waffle Eagle says, I can't even, AI/chat GPT is overrated. It is. And, I've seen a lot of, I started noticing it from V, of all people. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. Actually, I have another thing I want to show you, Luke. We're going to move on since we're talking about Romania. Or Romanians, I should say. Pull this one up for you right here. Okay. I think and actually I think this might be something that Romanians are blind to, or they might have been blind to, given the fact that their government specifically has banned a lot of these type of films before, exploitation films, right? V is just now realizing that we're in the woke, the exploitation phase of woke. We really are. The companies know damn well that in order for you to freaking want to buy their crap, they have to make controversy where it doesn't need to be any. That way, they get that Twitter bump.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Here's an example of that, Luke.
Magic
Play
the
it.
Gathering makes the most popular Argon. Oh, it's a.
Now, Magic the Gathering has experience. They have been mired in a lot.
About 3 minutes in.
3 minutes in, you say?
Yeah, 3 minutes in, yeah.
Go here. And you say something bad about their decision. And you will tell them that you disagree, and it's obvious that you're a person that will never be their customer, never buy their cards. It is still enough in order for someone to consider that is engagement. They're like, this had buzz, this worked, this was a good campaign. So if you do not like this, then just do not comment on it on Twitter. Right?
Yes.
You can do a screenshot of it. Make sure you don't use Magic the Gathering. You can show it to other people. But do not actually go here and actually talk and engage with these people, because you're going to see there's a lot of shills. There's a lot of people that are literally baiting you. I see people saying,
it's a marketing tactic.
Anyone can interpret the character any way they want. Yeah.
Dave Cullen made the exact argument.
Yep, it's a marketing tactic. That's exactly what it is. These people, you said Dave Cullen, you said?
Dave Cullen, Computing Forever?
I have not seen that film yet.
The YouTuber.
Yeah, I know, but I have not seen it.
But woke outrage, buzz marketing. Don't take that bait.
Yeah, don't take the bait. Don't take the bait, because that's exactly what it is. It's go on.
When are you talk about the woke trending thing that every other social commentator is currently talking about on YouTube?
there's a number of content creators reacting to the latest bit of woke buzz marketing from a major brand. It's a commercial that promotes a pandering, inclusive message about representation in a particular entertainment form. The reason I'm being a bit vague there and not mentioning the brand is deliberate, and it relates to the whole point of this video. There was a time when I would have reacted to the commercial in question, shown some footage from it, put a screenshot from it in the thumbnail. It would have generated a lot of views on my channel. But I've learned over the years that this is the wrong way to respond to something like this, because it's exactly what the woke commercial is designed to accomplish. It's meant to bait a certain type of large reactionary content creator into producing a negative video response, drawing attention to the commercial and therefore the brand.
That's exactly what it is. We're in the age of woke exploitation. So and the problem here is the SJW don't understand that they themselves have become a husk. They have become a husk that the corporations can now wear.
Everyone has come. I mean, this is way back when the Ghostbusters movie first came out.
Oh,
like from hotdiggitydemon.com.
Oh.
I wonder what the ulterior motive behind this creative decision was in the first place. To me, it's pretty clear, but I'll spell it out for you anyway. Making the Ghostbusters women equals controversy. Controversy equals excessive posts from people fighting on the internet. Excessive posts equals the Ghostbusters reboot further permeating our collective cultural awareness. AKA butts in the seats! And you suckers all fell for it!
Exactly. Jack Skellington gets it. He gets it really nicely. So one of the things you don't do, and there's a reason why, certain people at some points, they could comment, but don't click on it. Don't actually, I'm at the point where we should start doing the whole archiving thing similar to sticks. Don't give these motherfuckers clicks. If you're going to click on it, if you're going to view it, archive it. You might as well, because it's just one extra click away, right? So if you really think about it, you have to consciously not look at it, archive it, and then put it aside somewhere. That's the best way you could do it, so that way they don't get a click.
And there's one other line in here that is relevant to this. This video was made this was 6 years ago, so let's see if this is still relevant now.
Content. You see, I'm a schmaltzy poetic idiot, which means that technically, I believe that filmmaking is a form of art, and that's why this movie offends me so much. You should never base the entire premise of your $150 million Hollywood film on the fucking marketing!
Why not? It's just going to become schlock. It's going to be no, real talk. This is actually something that I just thought about just now. No one's going to watch this stuff in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to watch Ghostbusters, the old one or the new one in 10 years. You know why? Because no one's going to own digital media, only going to own digital media. They're not going to own physical media. Why are they going to own physical media? Because it's not worth putting it to print. If they were to legitimately go buy, let's say, a disc, right, to get a hard copy of Ghostbusters because you like the women, right? If they did that, they'd have to do it in bulk. To do it in bulk, who are they? They're never going to sell it. Look what's happening with the physical, the woke and Star Wars, right? I still see in some places, the Last Jedi freaking action figures. They've never been sold. They're not being sold. Bolshevik marketing only goes so far with the physical. But in the digital, okay, we'll just write off the Ghostbusters movie as a tax write-off. Magic the Gathering. I think there was at one point where they discovered a pallet of Magic the Gathering cards in a landfill. They were supposed to be released. They printed so much shit that they just throw it away because people don't even nobody wants to collect anything anymore. The same thing with Magic. Same I would love to play Ravnica or Time Spiral block with people. I'm talking about Time Spiral. I'm talking about the original Time Spiral, Chaos. So what the hell it's called? Planar Chaos and Future Sight. I would love to draft with people like that back then. I would love to do it. That'd be the best format. I would do it anytime, any day. Now the stuff that the Magic Gathering is putting out is shit. So much so they're just pumping it out to the point where you can't even appreciate the value of these cards. You can't appreciate it and actually take time to rest because they're just pumping shit out over and over again to the point where they don't really care. And they'll even pump out so much stuff they'll throw it in the landfill. It's garbage, I don't know. Keep going. One more thing I gotta show up.
Someone goes okay, so can we have Will Smith play Anne Frank? Oh, that's a historical character. That's different. Really, I think Egypt has a word to say about that in Cleopatra, right? It's like we have reached a level where the creativity is so fucking low and the quality is such garbage that the only thing they can do is this. Like this is the attempt of a struggling, dying empire. It's like, okay, well,
Shut up. We're not dying.
You know, like,
And by the way, no, we're not dying. This is very important. We're not dying.
This self-inflicted. This isn't an empire dying. It's just the
no. It's not. It's also the internet.
It's a corporation just making stupid choices.
No, what it is, Luke, is that this guy is not this guy because it's not just him. Because what it is that the red light district has gone into the main district. Okay, the exploitation marketing is now everywhere. It used to be that in order to see, let's say, I Spit on Your Grave or some shitty exploitation film like Ilsa She Wolf the FS, you'd have to hang out with friends and family who knew about that shit, right? You'd actually have to go into the video store and request that shit. Now it's everywhere in everyone's face. And because it's because it's in front of everyone and everywhere's face, new people aren't being exposed to the old phenomenon, which is basically exploitation films or blaxploitation in this regard. Yeah, I fucking said it. Because that's what it is. It's blaxploitation. They are literally just saying, we're going to put somebody, a strong, powerful black character in there because black. That's literally that's all they have to do. The guy doesn't have to have an arc. Because and believe it or not, I actually criticized, the Little Mermaid, right? I've criticized the original film from Disney, and I haven't seen the new one yet, but I'm hearing it's tanking. But guess what? Little Mermaid was shit anyhow. It was always shit. And you know why? Because the character never learned anything. They did not have an arc. She never has an arc. She's just like, oh, I get what I want anyway with no consequences. My father could basically, and the whole world could be threatened. Oh, I didn't learn anything. Like, she literally is like a ditzy blonde in that regard. But, again, if you want good quality content, you have to search for it. And this is where, going back to the whole energy goes where the attention flows. Don't give these fuckers your clicks, because that's one way you could give them money. Don't talk about them, ignore them, and let it die on the vine. I have not bought a single fucking pack of Magic the Gathering cards this whole year. I haven't. I'm not going to buy it. Why would I want it? I'd rather have the older stuff. And the older stuff is again, the game system is great, and this is one of the problems, is that these woke bastards are going to destroy everything that we have, we hold dear. All the IPs and all the intellectual property is going to go up into the highest bidder, or it will just be lost to time, right? I don't know. We're going to move on. Luke, I've sent you another link here.
What is this?
Yeah. This is the Biosfire Smart Gun. This is something we need to resist with our money, and we also need to resist it with our pen, if we can.
Biosfire Smart Gun. It's fingerprint activated or what?
Fingerprint activated, so it could basically never be fired by anybody except an individual who's authorized to fire it.
Or is it locked, or is it like?
It's locked, yeah.
Safe from unauthorized use. Locks the moment it leaves your hand and cannot be fired unless an authorized user picks up the gun. Oh, so it's basically that one gun from Judge Dredd?
Yes, except it doesn't blow up in your hand like a class 4 grenade. It's basically that. This is dangerous because then what's going to happen here is, let's say someone hacks your fucking biogun, like it's Cyberpunk, right? Or worse, somebody makes it so that, they frame you and say, oh yeah, the gun that belongs to Judge Dredd was used in, the slaughter of, let's say, a street judge, right? This stuff could easily be weaponized against people.
So
I would be against it.
So you have to keep your finger on that particular spot for it to always work?
No, you have to hold it with your hands. It's registered by your biometrical data.
Yeah, right there on that fingerprint.
I think it might be, yes. And here's the problem, though. It's garbage. It really is garbage. I like the look of it. I like how it has that beautiful, like, cyberpunk, almost freaking, how should you say it? It's almost that freaking pistol from freaking Halo, right? It looks like the pistol from Halo. Here's the problem: it doesn't take Glock mags. And there's so many things that could go wrong with this gun. There's so many so many things. I mean, look at it. It doesn't even have a flashlight. It has a laser on it, but it doesn't have a flashlight on it. This thing, don't buy it. Like, don't buy it. Don't, like, if you were a gun owner or a gunsmith, don't carry it. Don't service these things. Do not service this shit. This is like legitimate. Where we come from? Palatar? Oh, I've heard of them. Let's see, Intel, Lyft. Oh, the usual suspects. NRA. Another reason why we don't support the NRA, ladies and gentlemen. Another reason why we don't support them. Forgotten weapons.
It's a smart gun. Oh, that's
yeah,
that's not annoying.
Play it.
Let's see.
See what this guy has to say.
New Jersey law. So you may be aware that for a while, New Jersey actually had a law on the books that as soon as a smart gun, a gun that would only fire for an authorized user, as soon as something like that was deemed commercially viable, it would start a countdown clock, and after a couple of years in New Jersey, it would only be legal to sell those pistols. Well, that law is no longer actually on the books.
Good.
Moment right here, you can pause the video and go check and confirm, because that's the same thing I did when I first heard about this. All right, so laws off the books, which means that this isn't actually causing problems by its very existence, which is a good initial bar to clear. Now, this project began...
No. It's an abomination. It has to be destroyed. We have to throw it into... We have to lose it in a tragic boating accident, sadly. Yeah, we do.
And for real this time.
No, like for realsy. No, we always did it for reals, dude. But like again, this weapon could legitimately this style of weapon could very well become mainstream, and then it gets to the point where we have like sort of like a Metal Gear Solid scenario where guns won't work unless you have like bio IDs and shit, and that'll make it harder for everybody. Like, it'll get to the point where like if you don't have the authorization to use the Second Amendment, you don't get to have access to this. They could lock you out. Imagine cloud computing this shit. Can you imagine that?
The biggest problem with smart guns that have been developed is there's a lot of developers have this idea that the smart gun will replace all other firearms, and this is the only thing that you will ever need to have. And BioFire is the opposite. For them, this is a pistol that is aimed at a very specific target market and a very specific purpose, and one where the biometric identification...
I can imagine being the only gun that you're allowed to own a blue district.
Yeah, I'm not trusting it. I don't want that shit near me. If anyone buys this, I will disown you. Because this is like a couple $1,000 gun, all right? It's like a $1,500 gun.
How much is a sucker?
How much is it? Let's find out.
Smart gun, do you have options? Do I have to build it?
Let's build it together. Let's fucking Metal Gear Solid.
Here we go. 2,000, 1.4 or...
That's overpriced. It doesn't even take Glock mags. Fuck that shit.
They're sold out. They're sold out.
Good. Oh, not good.
Only 1% remaining. So they're already sold out. They're only of...
This is disgusting.
Let's see. Polymer... Blah, blah, blah. Can I not click on anything? Oh, okay. So it's $99 for a coloring.
They look like CS:GO skins, except not cool.
Let's see. Trigger. Clarify the trigger there.
This is legitimately Cyberpunk. It's freaking weird.
See color.
Let's make it look cool.
I guess that's it.
That's
Magazine
it.
Release.
Black. Let's orange. Let's orange it.
Oh, that right there. The release. Magazine release.
There you go.
Right hand.
Oh, this sucks, dude. Oh my god, I just realized this.
Yeah, it has to be on that hand.
So what happens if you get shot in your right hand? You're fucked. And you don't have the left-handed, you are fucked.
Yeah.
Wow, upgrades. Let's see what they have for upgrades. The BioScan dock, because you have to dock everything, right?
With addition. So this is Smart Gun Batch 1. So this comes with it. This is the minimum you're going to get. Or Batch 2, what does that come with? Ships. It's not out yet. Let's see. Magazine. So you want to add a magazine if you want, which comes with
$49 from fuck that. That's like we're getting into HK prices.
That's serious proprietary right there. Because my 6
it is
proprietary magazines, but they're not that. I don't think they're that that much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason. Like again, this is going to be for ultra rich people, and they're going to push down. Do not vote with your wallet. Don't even vote for this stuff. Don't even vote. Don't vote with your wallet. Just ignore it.
BioFire Range Kit, custom hearing and vision protection featuring earmuffs. Oh, so headset, earmuffs. Okay. Bio hard case, another $100, another $100. Add to build. Let's just say for the sake of it. Let's see. BioCare included with addition. What is white glove service and support from the people who know.
Where is that term coming from? I've been hearing that term a lot lately. White glove service. I've heard that ever since the pandemic kicked off, and I've heard the same thing be said for like servicing, like clients and stuff like that, and like the computer industry. You know who they're trying to pander to.
So we have all this is $1,856.
That's disgusting. I would rather just give me a Glock. Give me a Glock. I don't know. I would never buy this gun. And if I was like, I would rather just have a freaking gun that, like a revolver by my bedside, and then have like a moon clip, so to speak. That's what I would be using. Alpha 100 says, I hope the pistol brace thing wins in court if it actually wins. I hope so too. I really hope so too, because I wanted them to deregulate SBRs. There's no reason for them to be regulated. There's no fucking reason.
User presence system. What's the
100% reliability of a system that will authenticate under virtually any circumstances. Now, the other really cool element of the system here, and to me this is, I think, even more technologically challenging and interesting than just recognizing a user and authenticating, is the pistol has a series of systems built in to understand when it has been put down or grabbed by someone else versus when you're holding onto it. So if I pick up the gun and it authenticates to me, I can move my finger off the fingerprint sensor, I can point it in some direction where the camera is no longer facing me, and the gun will remain authenticated and active as long as I'm actually holding it. And they do that through their number of accelerometers.
Oh, so I don't have to worry about having it in that one place the whole time.
Yeah, supposedly. But if you drop it and then you have to authenticate it immediately for it to understand you.
Can you switch hands?
That's what I want to know.
Inside the gun that can pay attention to how it's being moved. And then technologically, or more physically, there are a pair of laser, they call them time-of-flight lasers, in the front and the back strap that are basically always aware of whether the gun's being held. So I've been playing with it a bit, and it's pretty darn good. Like, if I take this and I switch it to my other hand,
it's like a Fallout pistol.
It sees me again, or I put my...
The 10mm pistol from Fallout.
So it can work. Oh, so it can work.
Oh, that's good.
You just got to be careful, because if it clicks off, you have to put your fingerprint on and then you calibrate it.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that. Again, I don't think this is a good idea. I really don't think this should be anywhere near guns. I think that technology and firearms should stay apart. They really, really should.
Yes, Smart never works with like anything else. It barely works with smartphones.
Like this is what I'm looking at right here, Luke. Like this is what I'm thinking.
I'm reminded of that Y2K joke about The Simpsons. It says, "Hey, what's wrong with my milk? It's broken. It has a microchip in it. Everything does."
Yeah, everything has a. This is what it reminds me of right here. The Fallout gun.
Oh, let's see.
This is going to be a bitch to clean as well. I guarantee you they're going to try to make it so that you can't clean your own guns. It looks the same, doesn't it?
Mechanical gun elements, user enrollment setup. Oh yeah, it's showing us the step-by-step process to get your gun authorized or set up with the lock mechanism. And of course, getting your fingerprint all registered.
Yeah.
On the range, security standards. So no clean descriptions.
Disgusting, and it says also instantly accessible lightning fast biometrics for authorized users. The BIOS smart gun operates just like any other firearm. Firearm proprietary Guardian biometric engine uses integrated fingerprinting and 3D facial recognition systems to verify your identity in any situation. Instant unlock your firearm just by picking it up. No codes, no buttons, no gadgets required.
As long as it doesn't have a Wi-Fi connection, that would be safe.
No, well, it does. It doesn't have a Wi-Fi connection. But the thing that I'm looking at,
Reconnection successful. Okay, so what's the deal?
I can hear you.
Dashin, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's
so
up?
I was disconnected, but now I'm reconnected.
Well, that's good to know.
So are we? I think we're still alive.
Yeah, I think YouTube doesn't like us talking about guns, even if they are, smart guns.
That was interesting.
Yep. Gonna get kicked. We are back. Thank you.
Anywho.
Oh, you get custom serial number. This is ridiculous. I legitimately don't like this. Look at this. It's like a fucking gun from freaking. It looks like something from Halo. It looks like.
I guess I can see the appeal in that.
Well, yeah. Here's the problem, though. Like, this could be used as like evidence. Let's say there's an actual shooting, right? And let's say that it authenticates you. Well, that could be admitted to evidence, can it? There's too many things that are going on here. I would rather not have it at all. And of course, let's see what he has to say here. Play it.
It is a near IR camera and it has a little IR flash, so the camera will work in the dark, which is relevant for. Really do like that. It's one thing to fiddle around with it and try and prove the thing. I actually pick up the gun, like I'm going to shoot it. Time it comes up, green.
Wow. I would never buy this. I would never buy this.
Still a prototype, they say.
Yeah, well, don't buy it. Don't accept the technology. Don't accept it. It really does.
Of course, still green for me. If I have some random rogue biofire employee come up here and try to take the gun from me, he grabs it. Up. No shooty. You're trying to hold that right. Yeah.
Oh, so if I'm injured, I can't just give it to someone else for help.
Yep, that's another thing you have to factor in, right? You can't. Yeah, unless they authorize them.
It's for you and only you.
Yep, which would be great if, like, for a family room or something like that, right?
This is the kind of gun that would be ideal for like a security gun in the room. That's all it's useful for.
I think there was actually a scene in, like, I think the 2001 or 1998 version of Lost in Space where they actually had a gun that was biometrically, linked to, I think, Will Robinson, I believe. All right.
Oh, it was because he was dealing with the
Mr. Smith,
bad guy. And he said, "You can't, don't bother trying to steal this because it only works for me."
Yeah, and then I guess the bad guy gets the ability to authorize it or what have you.
He convinces the kid to let him use it because there's like in a dangerous situation. And then he takes a gun, automatically takes a gun and says, "First rule of life: never trust anyone, especially me."
Fuck. That is a good rule of life, isn't it? Especially given the situation he was going to go through. Ugh. But anyhow, we're going to keep moving on. We have a few other things we want to talk about here. Give me 1 second.
Oh, is my Discord broken?
Your Discord ain't broken.
It's reloading. Oh boy.
It's just going through an update. It's having its phase. But do you ever watch Linus Tech Tips?
Huh? No.
You watch Linus Tech Tips? I stopped watching them probably back in, I want to say, 2014, 2015. I'd stopped watching them. When they started becoming more commercialized. One of the guys who I would always see every so often was a guy who, I don't know, I think his name was Emil, I believe. He's a fat motherfucker. So he was just not pleasant to look at. But, another reason why we don't trust fucking uglies. Because this guy fucking shows up. Look at this. Look at this right here.
Could you send on to Skype?
You want me to send it to you on Skype? All right.
See, Discord is taking its time.
Discord is having a field day. Here we go.
That's my initial reaction.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Here we go.
Where's Anthony been lately? I'm still
Bacon.
here. I'm still at LMG. Right now I'm vacationing.
Hickory
Visiting
Farms.
family. But things have been weird for a little while. Let me explain, and you'll have to forgive me for
Jerky.
using a teleprompter.
Mike Tyson's chicken. I don't know. I'm just thinking of things that keep playing it.
See, I try not to push my views too hard on social media. Linus might not see it this way, but I feel that fundamentally, this platform that I have isn't mine. I didn't earn it. I feel like I owe it almost entirely to my association with Linus Media Group, and it's not something I take lightly. This time is different. This time it is about me, and it will affect Linus Media Group too. I am transgender.
Oh God.
Never could have guessed.
Oh my God. No, your name is not. Goddamn. Do we do it? Do we do it, Luke? Do we speak the truth? Or do we acknowledge the fact that this is basically bullshit? It's Canadian crap spewing into the internet, and then the reason why, like the frozen norths, it can't be trusted. You know, at least in our neck of the woods, chaos is always in the north. Yeah, I'll keep playing.
For over 13 years, I've been in the closet, and I've got memories from as early as 25 years ago, as puberty began. The signs, they're all along.
This really is the new coming. This really is the new gay, isn't it?
They desperately want, because the gays now that they're all accepted, they realize there's no one there except them, right? And there's no one there.
There's a pastor called and Doug Wilson who wrote the Preterist book I'm reading. He was having a debate with Andrew Sullivan, the gay conservative, and there was and he was raising the point, like the question was asked, well, what harm is there in normalizing gay relationships or gay marriages? And he was concerned that all the arguments that were going to be used for gay marriage will be used for polygamy. Oh, if only we knew about the transgender movement. Oh my gosh, the polygamy would be much tamer compared to this.
I personally think polygamy would have destroyed society. I think we would have seen enough people line up and fight, actually like beat the shit out of people. Like incel phenomena would be a really bad, way worse than it actually would be.
Oh,
you know, seriously, like we would see people like kill one guy and then take all his shit. It'd be just nothing but raiders killing each other.
At least it would be obvious, though. Like transgenderism just messes everything up.
Yes, it does.
All the arguments are being used to justify it.
Yep. Keep going.
To ignore it for so long, I finally started taking hormones a little over a year ago. My intent is to hide it for as long as
your intent is to become Honey Boo Boo. That's his intent. He's going to become Honey Boo Boo.
But I can't hide forever. As a semi-public figure, I don't have the luxury of doing this quietly like so many people hope to do, so...
You do. You could just go off the internet and go do your own thing, and then come back sometime, and then people are like, oh, I changed, and then that'd be it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to make it. You literally could just do you and fuck everyone else. But you won't do it. You'll have to make it political, won't you?
Because your identity is political. That's the point.
Yep, the personal is political. That's what they always say, right?
Has been incredibly supportive, and the company is behind me 100%. And for that, I couldn't be more grateful. It's just amazing. But even so, I've made the decision to step back.
Linus Tech Tips. 10 days ago, there's a guy, one of the main speaker, as far as I can tell, is stepping down. I don't know what they're stepping down from. It's time for me to step down as CEO of Linus.
Oh, God.
Most successful companies eventually outgrow the leadership of their founders. And it looks like my time is now. Effective July 1st, 2023, after 10 wild and very eventful
They infiltrated.
I will be
They infiltrated,
CEO.
Luke. They've infiltrated. Like, I can remember this guy was, like... I remember he was hacked at one point, right? It very well could be a bunch of SJWs fucking with him. I really do think that's what it is. You let the fat guy run the fucking show. Yeah.
Linus Media Group, Creator Warehouse, and Floatplane Media. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, and I'm going to try to answer them all here. Like, why now? What's going to happen? The truth is I was never really cut out to be a CEO. I remember putting it on my business cards in the early days when we had only 4 employees, thinking, this feels ridiculous, and I've never really outgrown that. I'm a lot of things. I'm a bottomless pit of creative energy, an excellent motivator and speaker. I'm wicked smart, charming, really funny. But in addition to...
This is an act, isn't it?
This is an act. He's literally burning the company and running with the money. That's what I think we're seeing.
I'm at my best when I'm pitching new content or product ideas, or when I'm problem-solving ways to wipe garbage sites like User Benchmark out once and for all. And I have some good news. None of that stuff is going to be going away. My new role is going to be Chief Vision Officer. It's a stupid, like, BS-sounding made-up role, but I think it really
is.
We thought about creative officer, but that didn't really encompass what I'm going to be responsible for, because my gut and principles are what got us to where we...
I feel like this doesn't even need to be said.
It doesn't need to be said. Why is this? Because the SJWs need a martyr. They need blood. They thrive off of it. Go back to the Hickory Farms package. There we go.
Posting videos, at least until we know how this whole thing is going to go. So I don't know when I'll actually be comfortable again in front of the camera. I just
You're in front of the camera right now, buddy.
Or anyone else close to me. It's
It's just in
the political firestorm.
It's just in. The price is $700 and it crushes the Steam Deck. Go buy one.
That terrifies me. Like, it's just...
Luke, come on.
I don't intend for anything to change or for anyone to treat me differently, though. I know many will, for better or worse.
I'm gonna go be watching Level 1 Tech.
Chance to be myself, and I've worn so many masks during my life that I'm still not sure who that is.
You're Quasimodo.
Persistent depression and anxiety have been with me for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, that's called the human condition.
Through medication and therapy. When I felt it start to come back a couple years ago, it was clear what the common thread was. I had to finally take action. My worries about what might happen if I did.
What is his relevance to the company?
He's somebody who replaced. He's with Luke or not Luke. Linus and Linus and Luke. They had like people who review stuff. He was just like the helper monkey. That's what he is. Like,
I don't see him anywhere in, because he's the other guy's the front man. So I don't know. Is he like involved?
He's involved here and there, but like he is to like between Linus and Linus is to Wendell what Wendell. Well, no, this guy is to Logan from I want to say the Tech what Linus was to Wendell. Like, everyone was there for Linus, and Linus, believe it or not, was just a really, really, really good salesman. That's all he was. Okay. He's just a good salesman. He's not really big into anything, but because he was like the first YouTuber who basically came out and saying, "Oh, we're gonna review tech here. We're gonna review tech here and there." He was part of this channel called NCIX Tech Tips. I don't know if you know what that is, but it basically was a Canadian company that would sell you computers, and like Linus was just the guy who was like the ShamWow guy. If that makes any sense. Anyhow, gonna keep moving on. I'm gonna move on from that because I want to get done soon. I know you guys are probably a little bit there. Maybe you're depressed because you're gay. That is entirely possible. He might very well be gay.
I mean, the vast majority of people who are trans were people who would have been gay under other circumstances.
They just don't like the idea. Maybe they just are too noble and they want to take it in the ass.
I mean,
you know.
But then again, if I wanted to be horribly conspiratorial, I could always say the trans movement was an anti-gay movement.
Yeah, I could very well say that. I mean, I don't know. But here's one for you. Here's because the wages of sin are death, aren't they, Luke? And one of the wages of they quite literally are sins in this regard. So this is something that came out. Michael Knowles has been really kicking ass lately on the whole satanic question. Because it's not necessarily a logical question, it's more of an aesthetic question. Should we allow these people to basically take control, to have cultural, oomph, if you will, have a place at the cultural table? I don't think they should. I really don't think they should, and here's why. Trans designer dumped from Target explains how he got smeared as a Satanist. Apparently he thinks he's smeared as a Satanist. But apparently he is a Satanist.
He posted on Skype again.
Crack. Forgot. It's all good. There you go.
Oh, it's an article. Okay.
Yep.
No, start being free. Yes. Washington Post. No, Oh, come on, let me read the darn thing.
Yep, watch it. I know exactly what you're. Yeah.
Back. Oh, let's see. Magic of the Wayback Machine. Work.
Alrighty. Let's take a look. Come on. I don't want to have dead air, but at the same time. Let me just type it in. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I will just post the video.
Access denied. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this one.
Here we go.
Access
we'll
denied.
just fuck.
Oh, wow. Getting around the Wayback Machine, are we?
Here we go. Here we go. This is from The Hill. This is from The Hill.
Okay.
Target boy. We really are in interesting
Christian
times.
Conservatives are calling to boycott Target after one of the company's Pride partners made light of Satanism, with one of the brand's merchandise reading, "Satanism respects pronouns. This comes as the retail giant is ramping up their Pride-related merchandise." According
He does. I don't think he respects anybody. I mean, well, actually, if you think about it, Satan was the first SAW. I identify as God. My pronouns are Almighty. Seriously, that's what it is.
Examiner, the UK brand Adberellin, is headed by a self-proclaimed gay transgender man. I should say self-identified gay transgender man known as Eric, and promotes clothing that includes slogans reading the following: "Satanism respects pronouns, cure transphobia, not trans people," a tote bag that reads "Too queer for here," and a messenger pack that reads "We belong everywhere."
Trans, which is for abortion. Now it's Satanism. Brianna.
Wait, that's what they were selling?
They were trying to sell that shit.
Oh, good. Oh, good grief. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. LHPs, mate. Spiritual leftists.
What's next? I mean, this is all kind of, obviously, I don't believe that this designer thinks that Satan is real.
Is real?
So, I don't. So, there's like a mismatch because I guess some Christians do believe that Satan is real.
Believe
so.
what you want to believe.
I saw the guillotine, but I didn't see this.
The Ouija board?
No, the
wow.
Satan, the Ouija and a tag. It's what were they thinking? Who actually thought this was be a good idea?
Well, you know, the Satanists need representation too, don't you know? And besides, we're Christian oppressors. We're patriarchs, don't you know?
Ugh.
Yeah.
You can shop where you want to shop, and if that's not Target, that's fine by me.
God bless.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You know, I have never operated on the basis of on the belief that a store should cater exclusively to me and my interests. I regularly shop at stores that sell men's clothing that I'm not personally trying to buy, that sell children's clothing that I'm not trying to personally buy, that sell Android products when I'm an Apple girl, and I don't feel like my ideological preferences need to be the standard of the store. I am not religious. I don't mind if a store sells religious paraphernalia. I understand that people very much don't think that transgenderism is real, and they don't want their children to be trans. And they can try as hard as they can to raise their children not to be trans. That is their right to do that in their own house. And if they want to boycott Target because they feel like having rainbow flags in the presence of their children, or just rainbows generally on shirts, is indoctrinating their children, they don't want to see a big rainbow. I really respect their choice not to patronize that establishment.
Let's play that TikTok.
I think that the gays are actually mocking God. They're saying, like, do it again. Do it again. Fucking flood the earth again. Do it again. We all know you're not going to do it because you made a promise with the rainbow, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. They're trying to mock God.
Oh yeah. The Target celebrates Pride Month with chest binders. That's what.
Chest binder. Let's look at this. I want to. What's a chest binder?
Well, it's basically it's a device that. Well, it's kind of it's making a super tight bra, basically.
Wait, let me see this. Oh, fucking Matt Walsh.
Here, buy this Drano. You can unclog your drains and also blind yourself to be the best version of yourself. That's not as far-fetched as it may seem. After all, 5 years ago, chest binding was viewed as something no different than foot binding. Foot binding is, of course, the Chinese custom of binding and breaking a girl's feet in order to change the shape and size of their feet. Maybe we'll get to the point where Foot Locker sells feet binders. Who knows? But as for chest binding, it went from something macabre and grotesque, and it still is, but it used to be widely viewed that way, if people knew about it at all, which, in fact, I guess 5 years ago, most people had never even heard of it. Didn't know that was a thing at all. But now it's being promoted and sold by Target. Not just Target, but the medical industry as well. The American Academy of Pediatrics...
Oh, this was last year.
Wow.
This was...
has a paper on their website claiming that chest binding is, quote, often critical for mental health. And yet, in the very same sentence, they admit that, quote, negative physical side effects ranging from chronic pain to rib fractures are common.
I thought they were like selling corsets or something, but I'm looking at these chest binding things, and they're just trying to LARP as Mulan. They're trying to LARP as Mulan, and Mulan was not transgender. I don't care what they say.
No, she was not. No.
No, she wasn't. Her pronouns are she, sheer.
Wait, where's the Target one?
I believe it's from the Federalist, further explaining the issue.
So Target has hired Eric, a self-proclaimed gay trans man, to design some of its clothing for Pride Month. After a quick look through Eric's Instagram, we learned something pretty interesting. He has an obsession with Satanism. He's designed a Satan Respects Pronouns t-shirt, gay as hell stickers, and stained glass windows with the words trans bodies are holy. One of Eric's most disturbing designs.
Oh God, Gnosticism, Luke. Trans bod. These people.
Oh, Muhammad did Muhammad have his breast reduced?
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Maybe Muhammad had his breast reduced. You never know with these people.
Oh yeah, this was Matt Walsh just the day after this video. So he's commenting on their comments.
Daily Wire has this report. Target is facing backlash over a designer featured in the company's Pride collection who appears to have created products with satanic imagery. Now, one thing we should note as we read on here is that...
But let's see the images if there are any more.
The fucking brawny man.
And mutilated breasts. Eric also uses some pretty violent imagery. He has a burn down the system lighter, a we bash...
Wait, system? Yeah, burn down the system.
Oh, God.
System lighter, a we bash back mace, and...
What? Wait, what is that? Burn down, and then, is it a hammer?
It looks like a mace. Like a throwing star. Or not a throwing star, a flail.
We bash back mace, and time's up for the transphobes' skull pins. And in March, he said that in order to, quote, keep the transphobes at bay, we must eradicate them.
Oh, that's smart.
We need to start taking... These people are turning into demons, like demons... I mean, look at it! Slanesh-y fucking colors and everything! It quite literally is the demon of Slanesh. This is insane.
Comes begging for help. Republicans should respond, best of luck. I wonder what he means by come begging for help.
What's a tweet? Let's see. Tom, even by the standards of woke corporations, Target's partnership with the Satanists to push the transgender agenda is remarkable. The next time Target comes begging for help, Republicans should respond, best of luck.
Yep, I'm not going to Target.
Because handouts from the government. Yeah. I would hope that Republicans would say best of luck, regardless of how many trans t-shirts, Satanist, Baphomet, whatever the demon with the horns is. I mean,
when people put those shirts on, I'm assuming they believe. I mean, I know some people are trying to be ironic, but if they're wearing a Satanist shirt, like, I'm going to assume they mean it.
They're LHP, dude. They're spiritual leftists. They have to go. But you know, but again, Michael Knowles doing wonderful work here. But the problem, and this is sort of where I want to sort of review this whole thing. Play it.
Oh, but here's MSNBC. When LGBTQ people are under attack, everyone loses. So here's the cope. This Ouija boards. Oh, here we go.
You're playing with the Ouija board. The Ouija board. The idea is it's not.
Abed is a little bit weird. Abed is a bit weird. Abed from the Community. That's what he always reminded me of. He always reminded me of the character from Community. I don't know.
But it's demons, basically. All right. Did it work?
So, it's funny because in my first encounter with the Ouija board, my mom used to have them as a prop for Halloween. No one played with it. It was just one of Halloween parties, and she'd just have the Ouija board there. It would just be a prop.
Okay, why is he in a gi? Why is he in a gi? He's in like a new agey gi, like one of those like fucking let's see if I can find it here. Keep playing it.
Matching shirt and pants, huh?
Yeah.
I think one of the first times I remember using it, and it wasn't like I did this like hundreds of times. It was maybe a handful of times, 70 times. The first time it worked was I was at a friend's house, 8th grade summer. There was a group of us at this girl's house, and so it was a group, like maybe 5 or 6 was playing. And it starts to move. Now, everyone's first reaction is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Everyone's, no, I swear, no, I promise, no. Everyone's not. I know it's not me. The thing starts to move. People start getting freaked out. And me, again, I'm challenging this up. I think it's a joke. Yeah. Because even though I think, like, it really is moving on its own at this point. Now, but I'm, like, asking a stupid question.
Bullshit.
Like,
You moved it. Do you know how Ouija boards work, Luke? They work by people who want to move it a certain way. their muscles will, like if I told you to get ready to move the pendulum forward, but don't move it forward, just get ready. Your muscles will act a certain way, and they will get ready in ready motion to move. That's what it is. So it's almost like an impulse, if you will, to move, and then the pendulum will operate accordingly, right? In this regard, this guy is gonna he's actually trying to get with the chick. Believe it or not, he's trying to get with the chick. Keep that in mind, because he knows this. You could easily like move this and get people to move with it. Keep going.
If you're real, show your face, and stuff like that. And so it starts to move, and people will start getting freaked out. So it was like me, I think it was like 2 or 3 other girls and another guy. They said, and they start saying, so one of them said, you have to ask it if you can leave. Like, I heard, you can't just leave the door open. You have to ask if you're allowed to leave. So they said, can I leave? And it goes, yes. Can I leave? Yes. And so next thing I know, it's just me and this one girl. And she says, can I leave? And it says, no. So she goes to try, and she's like, can I leave? And it goes, no, no. And she just freaked out, and she just ran off.
You want to fuck her? Just admit it. He was trying to get laid. That's what it was. He was basically doing it to her. He was trying to get laid because he was already admitted he was at a house party. He already admitted that he's using this as a way to get laid. That's what it is.
It wasn't you moving it. And so you could say, well, maybe it's this girl just wants to, spend more time with you. You say, I'm going to move it to say no.
Yeah.
But
Thank
she
you.
gets very freaked out, and then she leaves.
No, it was genuine fear. Like, she's like, oh my gosh, just say no, no. She just like freaked out and she left. That was like the first time I saw something come from it. And then years later, I played it. Back when I was getting really into the DMT, I had one and I was with one of my friends. And this guy was, he was a very stoic kind of guy. He wasn't a type of guy to like get scared easily. Like me and him used to, do all types of crazy stuff together. He wasn't the type of guy to, for one, to play into it, and two, to get scared about stuff like this. Just me and him, and we start playing. And like I said, I lived on that battlefield, and so we start asking him things. Starts moving. I didn't even need to ask. I knew it wasn't him. He knew it wasn't me. We started moving. So we're asking him multiple questions, and I start asking him like, well, when am I gonna die? And it gives me a number, and it says from overdose. It says 37 from overdose. Then he asked it, and it gave him a number, and it gave him it said, I think, like heart failure or something, heart attack or something. To this day, that friend is scared. He called me literally last year. He said he freaked out. And this is 2012, 2013. To this day, he's still afraid of that. He still thinks that's gonna happen.
Yeah, of course. How old are you?
I'm 30.
What is this, Luke?
No, because I think
what is what?
Never mind. I don't know. I'm gonna end it here. Luke, any final thoughts? Don't worry, guys. I'll chop this up tomorrow, and we'll get a better an idea of what we're gonna do. We're gonna chop up this segment because honestly, I think that we're gonna have. Well, I got a new job, by the way. That's coming up soon. So hopefully, I'll be able to do this more often, and I'll have more energy. But anyhow, Luke, any final thoughts?
Still no trace of Vicar.
Wait a minute. I'm getting readings that are off the scale.
Perhaps that's because I'm standing right behind you, you dullards.
Ladies and gentlemen, we get to one another, take care of one another. Remember, saving the West is a side quest. This is the Digital Renegade podcast out.